Good afternoon to all. I hope everybody is safe at home. So let us start today's session. So today's topic is arithmetic progression. Before getting into the topic, let us look into some examples. Here in the first example, set of the dots are given. These dots I have joined to form a pattern. Right? In this example, 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. What we observe here, these numbers are arranged in some pattern. What is that pattern? That these all are set of even numbers. Right? In this third example, -1, -3, -5 are arranged in some pattern. In what pattern? That -2 is added to each and every number to get its succeeding number. In this fourth example, 1 is square of 1, 4 is square of 2, 9 is square of 3, 16 is square of 4 and so on. Right? So from these examples, what we understood that the collection of the objects which forms a certain pattern. Right? The collection of the numbers which forms a certain pattern. The collection of the dots which forms a certain pattern. So such collection of the objects which forms a pattern is said to be a sequence. What are the general life examples you come across in the sequence? The rangoli, what daily our mother used to draw outside. Right? And next example, the blocks arranged in a chain. Right? To form a chain, how the blocks are interlinked to each other. How they are interlinked? Not randomly, isn't it? They are interlinked with each other in a certain pattern. So the blocks in that chain are arranged in a sequential order. The dots in the rangoli have been joined in such a sequential order to give us a good look pattern, isn't it? So such collection of the things which are forming a pattern is said to be a sequence. So what is the relation between the sequence and the progression? If the sequence is following a definite rule, that sequence is said to be a progression. What is that rule? Let us see these examples only. In the second example, this 4 how do I get? By adding plus 2 to this 2, I got it as 4. This 6 how do I get? By adding plus 2 to 4, I got it 6. In another way, how I can observe that? 4 minus 2 is 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. Means from this what I can say that the consecutive difference of any two numbers in this sequence is same, is constant. What is that constant? 2 here. The consecutive difference of any two terms in this sequence is constant. This is the rule it is following. Right? So this sequence becomes a progression. Now in this what if you observe that -3 minus of -1 is what? -3 plus 1 is -2. So of consecutive terms difference I am getting here a constant -2. Then this is also a progression. What about this sequence? 2 square, 4 minus 1, 3, 9 minus 4 is 5, 16 minus 9 is what? 7. Right? So these is terms arranged in a pattern, it forming a sequence. But the sequence is not following that rule. What is that rule? That consecutive terms difference is a constant. Right? So this is not a progression. Isn't it? It is not following a rule. These two examples are following a rule. So this sequence which following a definite rule is said to be a progression. Isn't it? What do you mean by progression? The sequence which follows a certain rule or a definite rule is said to be a progression. So now in this example, what is the rule it is following? This progression, what is the rule it is following? That two consecutive terms difference I am getting a constant. Two consecutive terms difference I am getting a constant. So this progression is said to be an arithmetic progression. So these are progressions only. But when that progression is said to be arithmetic, that any two consecutive terms difference, if you are getting a constant, then that progression is said to be an arithmetic progression. Let us go into the general representation of the terminology involved in this arithmetic progression by taking a simple example. Right? So here, what is the example I am taking? Is See, everybody will be writing an exam, right? We are going to write an exam and online application we are going to fill it, right? So for first day fine, if it is delayed, so the first day it was fine for 50 rupees for delaying the application form, submission of the application form. Second day it will become what? 100 rupees it seems. Third day 150 rupees it seems. Like that up to, let us take it for 10 days. Right? So this first term I am taking it as A1 or A. This second term I am taking it as A2. This third term A1, A2, A3 and so A4, so on. It is up to 10 days I said, no? So it is some countable number. So this we call it as what? Finite progression. Isn't it? If it is uncountable, it is infinite progression. Now coming to this terminology, what I said, the late submission, fine for the late submission of an application per day. For the first day, means for 1 day delay, it was 50 rupees fine. For 2 days, 100 rupees. Like that this is given. So I have given the names as A1, A2, A3 and so on. A1 is what? A is what here? 50 rupees. A2 is what here? 100. This 100 how do I got? This 50 plus 50. Consecutive terms difference we said, no? 50 plus 50. Right? So this is your A2. So I can take this as A plus D. What is the D here? That common difference what we said? This AN is the terms. In terms it is containing. Its consecutive term will be what? AN minus 1 is equals to a constant D. Now let us define this with this simple example. So A2 is second day, how much it was? 100. That 100 I am splitting it as 50 plus 50. 50 is first day plus extra 50 rupees per day. Remaining it is 50 rupees. Right? So A plus D I got it. So A2 is what? A plus D. This I can write it as A plus 2 minus 1 into D. Can I write? Now this 50 as A plus 1 minus 1 into D. Now third day 150 no? Means what? A plus 100. This 100 how I am writing? 50 plus 2 into 50. Can I write? This is nothing but A plus 2D. This I am rewriting it as A plus 3 minus 1 into D. Can I write like that? This is which day? Third day. Third term. This is which is second term. This is which first term. Like that if I want to find nth term. Suppose I want to find for 10 days or nth day. So if I want to find for nth day, it will be A plus n minus 1 into D. For third day, A plus 3 minus 1 into, that is 2D. Isn't it? So for nth day, A plus n minus 1 into D. So this is the general term formula which is used to find that 10th day or that 7th day or 8th day, what is the amount she has to pay or he has to pay as a fine. Right? So the general term of this AP is written as A plus n minus 1 into D. Let us look into it that how the terms in this are arranged. How? First term we said A. Second term how I will get? A plus D. Third term A plus 2D and so on. Like that how many terms? A plus n minus 1 into D. N terms of this progression. Right? So the terms in the progression are arranged as A plus D, A plus 2D, so on. The consecutive term difference I am getting the same D, which is a constant. Right? This constant is what? It can be 0. Means example 2 comma 2 comma 2 also forms an AP. Why? 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Right? So I constant I said. So I got it as 0. 0 is also a constant here. Right? So this D can be a constant in a real number. Right? And now coming to, so we got the common difference. D represented, small d is taken as representation for common D, common difference, and nth term as A plus n minus 1 into D. So these are the two terms we have find. What? An minus 1 is D. and an is equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. These are the two formulas we derived it. Now from the same example, I am going to find the sum of amount for these 10 days. Total fine has to be paid for the delay of 10 days. So let us take. So first 10 days now, S10. S10 is what? First day 50 rupees. Second day 100 rupees. So like that 10th day I don't know. No? Let us find A10. A10 how I will get using this formula? A plus 90. Let us find here. A10. A10 is what? A plus 90. Means A is 50 plus 9 into 50. Is how much? 450 plus 50. 500 I got it. No? So this 10 days becomes what? 500. Right? So on up to this 500. Now I want to add it in a reverse way. Then also 10 days only, no? So 500 plus preceding term, what do I get? 450 only, no? 450 plus so on plus 50 rupees. Add all 2 times of S10, 550 plus 550 plus 550. So sum of the amount for the 10 days is 550, 550, 550. How many 550s we are adding? For 10 days, right? So 10 into 550. So S10 is equals to 10 by 2 into 550. This I can split it like this now. How? S10 is equals to 10 by 2 into this. First I am writing it as 50 plus 500. Can I write? So the formula is Sn is equals to n by 2. 10 days no? N by 2 into A. 50 is A plus. Your last term is what? 500. A plus n. Suppose you don't know the last term. Suppose if it is for n days. Then how this 50 can be written? This 50 is what? 8 and no? This how this 50 can be written as? That S10 is equals to n by 2 into this 50 plus n minus 1 into d. That n, if it is 10, so what I will get here? 9 minus 1 into d. So this formula 1 into 50 means 450. I am writing it as like this, right? 9 minus 1 into 50. Here 9 is nothing but 10 minus 1. Right? Then how this formula can be taken as? So S10 is equals to, if we know the last term, then the formula is n by 2 into A plus L. So this in general can be written as, if it is for n days, n by 2 into A plus L. If we don't know the last term, suppose, then this can also be written as n by 2 into 50 plus 450. I am writing it as 10 minus 1 into d. D is 50. So this becomes what now? 10 by 2 in general. N by 2 into 50 plus 50. 100 no? So 2a plus 10 means n minus 1 into d. This is sum of n terms in the AP. So in general, the sum of n terms in the AP can be written as Sn is equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So this is the formula which is used to calculate the sum of n terms in the AP, and this is the sum of general term of an AP, and this is the common difference of an AP. These are the three major formulae which you learn in your 10th class arithmetic progression. Right? Now coming to, let us take, so in this what questions can be asked based on this concept is, first he will give you a progression, he will give you a sequence and he will ask you to check whether in the AP or not. Check whether it is in the AP or not. Means which formula we will use? D is equals to an minus 1 into d. Or he will ask, find the 40th term of the AP. For this, which formula? A plus n minus 1 into d. Or he will ask which term, whether this term forms the AP or not. For that questions also an you will take. And an where it can be applicable, where it can be used to find nth term, checking whether the term forms or not, whether it forms a term or not, term of an AP or not, first negative term, which term is 0. For these cases we will find an. Right? So, let us take one small example. Root 2, root 8, right? Root 18 and so on. Check whether it forms an AP or not. For that what we have to do? First, the consecutive terms difference must be the same. I am writing in simplified form, root 2. This 8 can be written as 2 root 2, 8 2 and so on. So the question is find whether it is in the AP or not. Find D. First term, second term, third term and so on. Second term minus first term. 2 root 2 minus root 2 is root 2. 3 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is root 2. So we are getting the consecutive term difference constant now? Yes, therefore, yes, the given sequence form an AP. It forms an AP. Suppose they ask you to find A5. Then how to do is this formula we have to use. What is that? A5 is what? A plus n minus 1 into d. Means A plus 4d. What is our A? Root 2. Plus 4 into what is our D? Root 2. So 4 root 2 plus 1 root 2 is 5 root 2. So 5 root 2 is nothing but root 50 is your fifth term of this AP. So like that we can find it. Now let us take one example to check whether it forms a term of the AP or not. How to find the first negative term and which term is the 0. Let us go for that also. So this. Let us observe this example. Minus 12, minus 6, minus 9, minus 6 and so on. The question is which term is 0? Find which term is 0. The question is find which term is 0. I have to find out which term is 0. So for that I don't know the term now. Let it be an. So I have to find an is equals to 0. I will have to find en. Right? So what is our an formula? A plus n minus 1 into d is equals to 0. Substitute a. A is our first term. Minus 12. Plus n minus 1. N only have to find into d. What is our d from here? Consecutive terms different. So minus 9 minus of minus 12. Means minus 9 plus 12 becomes what? Plus 3. No? So I will get plus 3 is equals to 0. So n minus 1 into 3 is equals to 12. N minus 1 is equals to 12 by 3, that is 4. So n is equals to 4 plus 1, 5. So therefore, fifth term of this sequence is 0. Fifth term of the given progression is 0. Understood all of you? So the application of an is also for finding which term of this given progression is 0. Let us go that which term of this sequence is the first negative term. Let us go for another example. Let us go for another example. Minus 7, minus 5, minus 3 and so on. The question is check whether 22 is a term or not. The question is check whether 22 is a term of this progression or not. So for that I have to check. First find an. Let us assume an as 22 and simplify it. if n you will get an integer, a positive integer, then I can say that 22 is a term of the sequence, or else it is not a term of the sequence, right? So for that, let us take, let an is equals to 22. And for that, find d also here. What I'll get? Minus 5 minus of minus 7, that is minus plus 7 minus 2 minus 5 is plus 2. An, what is our an? A plus n minus 1 into d is equals to 22. A minus 7 plus n minus 1, n I don't know, I have to find out, into d. D is what here? 2 is equals to 22. So when minus 7 goes that side, n minus 1 into 2 is equals to 22 plus 7, 29. Then n minus 1 is equals to 29 by 2. So n minus 1 is equals to, is what? It is a fraction. It is not a whole number, right? So since n is a fraction, it is not a whole number, then I can say that, therefore we have to write here, since, then n is equals to 29 by 2 plus 1, that is 31 by 2, is not a whole number. Since n is not a whole number, therefore 22 cannot be a term of this given sequence, right? So we have used an. How to find whether the term given number is forming a term of the AP or not, and check which term is 0, and let us go for which term is the first negative term. Let us take this sequence. So let us see here. So we have learned how to apply the, which cases we find, apply the application of the common difference, an application, and let us see for Sn, right? Sum of n terms of the AP. Suppose the AP is given as 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus so on up to 30 terms. So he is asking you to find S30. Direct application. What? S30 is n by 2, right? What is our Sn? N by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So what I'll get? Our n is 30 by 2 into, if they ask you to find 30, S30, we can find S30. Suppose sometimes he will give this 30th term value, then that also we can find, right? 30 term. 2a, 2 into a plus n, 30 minus 1 into d. What is our d here? Find d. 5 minus 3 or 3 minus 1? 2 into 2. So I'll get here 2 ones, 2 15s. 15 into 2 plus 29 into 2. So here 15 into 2 plus 29 to 58 and 15 into 60. So I'll get here 900. Multiply 15 6, 900 is your sum of first 30 terms. It is direct formula application, right? Some verbal problems will be given. In such cases, how to apply the Sn. Sn is applied, suppose in a theatre, in the first row 2 seats, in the second row 4 seats, in the third row 6 seats, like that. Total 40 rows are there. So find the total number of the seats in the theatre. Then in such cases, what formula you use? Sn formula. Is it clear to you? A spiral is formed. A spiral with different diameters is formed, right? So in such cases, like that 11 spirals are formed. In that case, find the total length of the wire required to form the spiral. In that case, also what you are supposed to find? Sn.